WestJet says it's buying at least 60 737-10 MAX narrow-body aircraft from Boeing and seven 787-9 Dreamliner wide-body aircraft. This increases WestJet's current order book to 123 aircraft with Boeing and 40 options. We're joined now by the WestJet CEO, Alexis Von Hoensbroech. Thank you very much for joining us, Alexis. Quite the bet here. And we forget how big your airline is. You're roughly the 8th biggest airline in North America.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, for having me. Indeed, we now have almost 200 airplanes that we operate through 3 different fleets. And we also have an order book of further airplanes that will come in. Some of these airplanes will be used to replace aging airplanes, and some of this will be used for expansion. But we also thought it's important that we have sufficient deliveries of airplanes basically well into the next decade, because the aircraft manufacturers are being sold out. And that's why we placed an order with Boeing now that will basically take us with a more or less regular inflow of new airplanes up to the mid-2030s.
So remind us, the 737 MAX 10, how many people will that carry roughly?
Yeah, it's roughly 200, depending on the configuration. So it's the largest version of the 737, which is the workhorse of our airline. We already have almost 150 737s in various types. And this will be the largest and most efficient one. And that's roughly 200. And
of course, WestJet in some ways modeled Southwest Airlines when it started, just 737s, keep it simple. Dreamliner, how many people does that carry? Because you're already operating some. Yeah, indeed. We have 7 Dreamliners, so it's a pretty small fleet at this point in time. In our configuration, we have 320 seats in one Dreamliner, and we use them mainly to fly to intercontinental destinations in Europe and in Asia. And they've been performing really well, especially out of Calgary, where we have all those Dreamliners consolidated. So we feel it's time to grow. However, it takes some time until we get them. So the next batch of Dreamliners is like more than 5 years away. But we are here for the long run, and therefore we are looking forward to receiving those airplanes and then growing our intercontinental network as well. And the 737s, they just don't have the range to go to Asia, for example? Exactly. So on the 737 MAX airplane, you can reach Hawaii, but you cannot reach Tokyo or Seoul, which are 2 destinations that we fly, similar to Europe. So we can do some, but out of Calgary, there's only so much. I think Iceland is the only European destination we operate on the 737 for Calgary. Where do you fly in Asia? Can you remind us? It's Tokyo and Seoul. Right. Okay. Nowhere in China yet, so that hasn't come up. I'm sure you're eyeing that market. Yeah, we always look at lots of options on all continents, but at this point in time, we're happy with the 2 destinations we serve in Asia. And we have heard that both Airbus and Boeing are having trouble delivering as many airlines as the customers want. So that must be a pain. For example, apparently the air freight industry is struggling with this. Is it just they can't turn them out quickly enough? Yeah, so there are a couple of things. So one issue is the supply chains. So you obviously you have the manufacturer, but then you need engines and you need lots of components. And the supply chain has been stressed since the pandemic. So that's one reason why manufacturers have been a bit slower than anticipated. And then Boeing had their own specific issues that everyone knows about. But what we are seeing is that Boeing, which is our supplier, they really picked up. They have improved significantly. I actually went to their factory a couple of months ago, and it has been day and night compared to what I saw before. And they are now even starting to accelerate some of the deliveries. So while we were pretty short the last 2 years, now they are really starting to pick up, and we're getting airplanes. So and these are great airplanes. And as we receive them, we always quality check them, and they come in with great quality. Tell us what trends you're seeing. Are you seeing more demand for premium seating or economy seating? Yeah, so there's always some of all. Right now, I think we see a pretty strong premium demand. However, our legacy is more in the leisure segment, as you know. So we will always have a higher share of more price sensitive
products or seating in our airplanes than other manufacturers or other airlines have, but we have both. And right now we're actually expanding the share of premium seating across our fleet, but we will always have parts of our airplanes that are really dedicated for affordable tickets, and that's obviously not premium, but it's also important because many people can't afford to fly. And in Canada, you need airplanes more than any other mode of transportation to get around.
My wife told me that once she flew business class on a boondoggle or something, and the staff were so nice to her that she started crying. Anyway, that was her emotional reaction. So we better leave it there. Yeah. Alexis, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for having me.
Alexis Von Hoensbroech is CEO of WestJet.